Code. This season, he's 2-4. He's 25 out of 38. He's gotten his team wins when they needed it. He hasn't really ever failed in a dire situation. I feel like...
Yeah, he's mostly come out first or second.
Yeah.
In most of his matches, if I recall. And like you said, he's not put out in the most important situations, but he occasionally brings some wins for his team. And so far, he is 1-0 against Zerg, so that's a good stat to note. He's going to be going up against this Zerg, DeParture, who so far is 0-3. One of those losses being in round 2, so he has played decently recently.
Yeah, he's 0-2 against Protoss, so we'll see. Things are not looking good for DeParture here in this matchup, but we've seen Prime upsets before. We've seen Irons. Only time will tell. Can't write him off yet, although all 5 of us have publicly done so. Let's find out what's going to happen. The map is Outboxer, so no siege tanks, no Terran sieges on this map. Let's jump in it. Let's see if JINAIR is going to bring us to an ace match or if Prime is going to pull off another miracle and defeat our #1 team.
LGA는 SK텔레콤.
Up here in the top left, in the green, for JINAIR Green Wings, the Protoss player, Terminator. This isn't DeParture.
No.
They're like, oh yeah.
To the bottom right, of course, in purple for Prime. Purple Prime. It's DeParture. Don't know where he's going.
Don't know where he's come from.
Don't know where he's come from. Where is he departing?
So, no proxies out of Terminator. Nothing crazy to start the game off. No fast pools. DeParture scouting a bit.
Yeah, just making sure he's not getting too gate proxied by Terminator. Terminator has done a few proxies in the past. He's all in, once or twice in his life. He's been there. He's done that.
He has some experience with that kind of style of life.
Notice that a lot of the Zergs today are just so concerned about proxies. No matter which side you look at, they are very careful about it. And you look at Cure too, and how careful he was against Creator. Everybody is playing super safe today.
Yeah. Except Creator.
Except
Creator's going in. He's nailing that hammer in.
I mean, I guess it was a safe and reasonable risk for him to take, but comparatively, yeah, he did take a risk. Marine King as well. And actually, we did see a proxy in game #1.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the race that needs to be defensive is the one that's being safe.
Yeah. We do have a hatch going down first for DeParture on this 2-player map, Outboxer.
There's $$O$ right there, man.
I love
$200,000 in his pocket. Sup, nerds? I took all the money.
It was
World
funny.
Championships, that's what I win. I don't know. You guys saw I was slumping in Pro League. I was just getting ready to defeat the world on the biggest stage.
Yeah, sometimes it happens like that. It's pretty cool. See players who start to get it going in Korean tournaments and then they go abroad and just destroy everyone, including Hero, a guy who's been so strong throughout all of Pro League.
I actually thought he was going to win, but SOS played a beautiful series, man.
I put my money on Hero as well.
If you have not seen that series, even though we just spoiled the results, I highly recommend watching it because the results themselves are interesting and whatnot. You're like, okay, well, SOS won, so what? How he got there is quite a journey, especially in that finals, that series.
Yeah.
Now
it's not about where you're going; it's about the journey to get there.
Yeah.
As a wise man once said.
Just ask DeParture.
Probably an ST.
Just ask DeParture, man. He's all about leaving. He's going somewhere.
We just haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I mean, I can imagine he well, hold that thought.
This is unfortunate for DeParture.
This is This is pretty meta here. This is Terminator saying, well, this map is pretty long for ground distance for an Overlord to travel to get scouting information, so I'm just going to come out here with a Stalker and kill this. Ouch. Twilight Council goes down. Is he just going to go DTs? Because the timing doesn't really work out very well for Blink, in my opinion. I mean, it's a
that's
really
a pretty
fast
early
Blink.
one.
With, like, no +1 or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be DTs here.
It's looking that way.
Yeah,
in the meantime,
two gates.
Yeah, there are 2 gates there.
Uh-oh. Oh, nice. Tight.
Nice and tight is the wall.
Yeah, that was tight, man. That wall.
That was sick rad, man.
Gnarly, that wall right there.
Wicked sick.
Dude, it was radical, man, what we just saw.
That was fat, man.
Whoa. That was pretty tubular.
Oh, God. We've gone too far.
I knew I was going to win. I knew I'd get the last one.
You won. You won
I get
this
the last
time.
lap here.
You won this time.
Well, if the Zergling actually sees this probe, okay, well, I take it back. I was going to say if he just sees the probe coming down, it's not going to look weird. But if he sees the pylon, he's definitely going to want to make spore crawlers.
Oh, was on attack move, but actually just too far away for the attack.
He should, like, cancel that pylon, I think, since the Zergling went away. Okay, well, now it's... Okay, if I'm DeParture, I'm, like, making a spore crawler at all my bases right now. I'm even, like, sending a drone over prematurely to make a spore crawler at my 3rd base.
Well, his response to this is to drop down a Roach Warren so far.
Well, I mean, the Roach Warren is not a bad choice.
Oh, there it is. One spore crawler being made.
Yeah, this is pretty predictable. If you ever see a pylon like this at a weird timing, it screams DTs. Even starts a lair now that he's got the resources for that. And 1 or 2 roaches coming out will easily fend us off. Zerglings will too. And in fact, like a queen is not a bad choice. But
not on hold position is the Zealot, and 4 of these Zerglings are going to get inside. They're going to see the Dark Shrine.
Bummer,
and they're going to start.
Well, it was not tight.
Killing my vibe, man.
Well, he's going to get this spore crawler, which is pretty unfortunate, as the lair is not complete. Now he can just target the hatch. Even the mothership core is over here saying, what's up?
Yeah, the hatch is going to go down here. There's nothing here. There's no... The lair isn't finished. He's not going to have an overseer. It's going to be focused down by 3 DTs. And this is what you can do if you warp in 3 DTs and the Zerg is not ready. I mean, he got the spore crawler, but he's like, okay, I finished that time. I got this now. I understand what he's going for, but he...
He could actually kill the larva.
Yeah.
Tip for newer players, a DT will one-shot a larva. So if you find yourself on the base, not sure what you should target, sometimes going for a larva can be quite good. Ooh, he's going to kill these rocks so that the Zerg player can't take a 4th base in that location. Would not be surprised if he does the same at the 3 o'clock rocks. That'll really, really annoy a Zerg player.
Yeah,
who then
definitely.
has to chase these units around with an overseer. And now he's just actually going to lose these roaches.
Yeah, even if he does get vision, well, he's got enough Zerglings here to hold this off. He's actually going to just recall.
Sick moves. That was nice. Now, he doesn't get the rocks at the 4th base location, but still.
He was able to delay that 3rd so much.
I mean, he killed it, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, he delays it and he kills it. That's 300 more minerals spent. The bases still aren't even connected yet. And what he's got coming up is Blink with +1. He doesn't even necessarily have to hit a timing here, but he's got the potential to make an Archon, maybe even just 1 more DT to make 2 Archons, do Blink Stalkers with Archons and hit a timing with that with +2. Maybe even just off +1. Regardless, it's going to be pretty good against Mutas coming out. Reduces Spires on the way here.
Yeah, even throwing down an infestation pit as well. There's the Archon being morphed like we were talking about with the DTs. 3 more gates on the way as well as a Robo Bay, or robotics facility.
Yeah, no Bay just yet. We'll come out later.
Yeah, if we get there.
If we get there. Well, I mean, this game has kind of stabilized a little bit, but I really feel like DeParture needs a big win here to turn this game around. And that being maybe the Mutalisks don't get scouted. For example, the Spire wasn't seen. And then he tricks Terminator in that way and then does a lot of damage. But with already Blink nearly completed and the Archon here, Mutas aren't going to be a unit composition that's going to suddenly just insta-win him the game or turn things on their head.
Yeah. And the one thing, if you get Mutas out like this at this timing, and the Protoss is already starting to go into +2 for attack, they're not going to have these upgrades too fast. And if you have Blink Stalkers on the map, they're going to do very well on a straight-up fight against those mutas.
I mean, 5 mutas on the way. Look at the worker count. He's down in Harvesters. He's just now starting to saturate his base. Whereas Terminator is going to slide his probes over there pretty soon. This army over here is just puny. I mean, he's like almost good enough to blink on it. Not quite there, but he's close.
Could actually take out those creep tumors as they're spawning, but he's just going to go right for the drones.
Yeah, just right-clicking over here. And actually, it's not noticed. DeParture doesn't see this. Even though the Queen's attacking, it's not on his orders. I don't think he has any idea. Okay, now he sends his units back.
Yeah, did recognize it now.
Already some damage done. And more so than killing the drones, the damage that's done here is that these Zerg units are now at home and no longer pressuring, which means this defense is so much easier. Imagine if he had Roaches coming into the third base with Zerglings at the same time as he was attacking these mutas. Totally different story. But if all the units, every single one is 1 aid home because of 1 DT, then he loses that. Now the time to make the spy or get the Stargates out, add the cannons in the bases. He's got all that. This is no longer a surprise.
Yeah, this is something we talk about time and time again, where sometimes against certain races, you're just buying time rather than trying to get a lot of damage done. You're forcing the army back, forcing the timing to come a little bit later, and to reduce the damage on it. Even if you're not trading in the best way with all that gas you spent on the DT and like only trading for a couple drones there, it still pays in double and triple just based on the time you bought yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. And now, by the way, the fourth base, which is taken at the location he has to because those rocks were killed earlier, there's a pylon over there, and he will likely, as soon as the hatchery is finished, warp in a bunch of DTs. Nexus cannon here plus photon cannon on the ground, going to easily ward this off. So as soon as that hatch is done, he's going to see it because the pylon will have vision, and he's going to punish for it. And Phoenixes are already started here. He's getting the fleet beacon for range, for also the +2 eventually if he wants that. These Mulists have already like passed their peak in relevancy.
Yeah, they were just like walking up to the Protoss army, getting blinked on and losing a couple. It's not the best trade there. Like you said about that pylon, 2 Zealots being warped in could start to get to work on that hatchery, or just wait until the drones come over and start to get to work on the drones.
Yeah, either way, I really thought he was going to wait and then do DTs, but I guess this is a safer way to handle the situation. And, well, it's Zealots versus Zerglings, so he's not going to get a horrible trade, but this with the Phoenixes and the Mothership Core, he's going to try to trade. He should get the Mothership Core. Oh, wow.
He could have actually turned back and gotten the Mothership Core.
Yeah, he doesn't even get that. Well, that's really annoying. This base is saved. It's cleaned up. But let's talk about the state of the game here. Let's talk about upgrades first. +3 is on the way for Terminator. +1 just finished for DeParture, who does get a lot of Zerglings in here. The Archon is going to get 18 kills here, on the other hand, because of that AoE damage. Here comes some Phoenixes. A lot of Blink Stalkers here. Even Blinks on top of the Mutas.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they were just able to blink on top of them. These Phoenixes, rather, are trying to trade here, but not microing the best. But with the Stalkers on the ground here, and the Mutas actually fighting with this, it's not the best trade. He's going to get blinked on again. He
just has, like, the best composition to counter this. Just a few Immortals to help deal with the Roaches, the Zealots at the front, even that Archon we saw earlier, plus enough Phoenixes at the back to deal with the Mutas. And +1, excuse me, was not complete. It's not even done yet. Meaning those Zerglings did not have that. They're up against +2 Zealots. The +2 Zealots, soon to have +3, are going to come over here and harass this base. He's pulling his Overlords back right now and starting Spine Crawlers. A desperation move, my friends. Now, this one Zealot will at least temporarily block here. Getting a bit ahead of himself with those Graviton lifts. But now those Stalker Snatches blink again, and they do.
They go in there. DeParture's forced to fight here just because of the blink and the Phoenixes. And he's not winning this fight here.
Those 4 Spine Crawlers you have up at home are not going to be enough with no army to support them. They're basically just 4 lost drones that he paid money to lose at this point. Zealot and DT killing the 4th base. And I'm just going to put the truth on the table right now, guys. This game is over. That hatchery is over.
You're going to put the true on the table.
I put the true on the table, man. That's what Marine King did earlier. I'm doing it again. And this base is gone as well. Looks like he may have saved this base over here for now. But how significant is that, considering that it's not mining, and he lost a ton of units to do so?
Yeah, and these Stalkers are upgraded enough. They're just going to be able to come over here and just Look at this. He's lifting his own stalkers.
No, this is just like a mini ceremony here. There's no strategy in this. Dancing his Phoenixes. Could actually just dance his units, you know, had he chose to do so. He makes it so the Spore Crawlers can actually shoot his stalkers. GG. And pretty one-sided game there. I like some of the ideas we saw from DeParture. I liked his run-by attempts. He identified the DTs were coming. His defense against that was a bit lackluster, I have to say. Losing that Spore Crawler early on and then losing the Hatch, and didn't even kill the DTs, which then became that one Archon that helped him so much in the defense early on. Pretty straight-up game there.
Yeah. Terminator looks very happy about this. He looks very proud of himself. He's like just going over there like, ha ha ha, I won the game. And he should be proud of himself.
DeParture is now 0-5